High-risk target detected.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up mod squad, welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you are already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, in turn helping the channel grow. Interaction plays a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. We're also so close to hitting that 30k subscribers mark, and all the added interaction will help us reach that goal. So again, like, comment, share and subscribe. With that said, let's get into today's video, and today I'll be showcasing a solo heroic PvE build that a good few of you have requested in the comment section for quite a while now, a build I haven't touched since title update 8. This build is great for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties, missions or the summit. This build currently has 1.4 million base armor, which gets boosted dramatically each time you kill an NPC and pick up a trophy. Yes, we are using a memento. With each trophy, you'll gain 40% bonus armor. Having such a high amount of armor is going to allow you to tank damage while your base armor is being repaired by 3% plus armor regen. So this build has all the survivability needed for the solo player. When it comes to the damage of this set, it may lack in high damage bonuses, but the fact we gain 30% magazine size helps give our build more sustained damage. All I then had to do was find ways to make up for the lack of damage bonuses, which I feel I did. Today's build, when combined with the exotic chameleon for example, can reach over 200% critical hit damage with 60% crit chance and 90% weapon damage thanks to the adaptive instincts talent. And we get all this with a 65 round magazine instead of the standard 50 rounds. Now don't think just because I mentioned the chameleon with this build, this makes it a chameleon only build, because that is not the case. Many weapons are viable with this build, such as all the high end assault rifles like the FAMMAS, Carbine 7 and the FAL. All these weapons will be able to reach 60% crit chance and around 235% critical hit damage. Now in order to obtain such high damage with this build, you'll need to adopt a playstyle, which involves you using the perfect finisher talent. Once you get into the habit of swapping to your sidearm to finish off NPCs, obtaining that damage often is pretty easy. This build will also amplify the enemy's damage taken by 8% and decrease the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. This combined with the Eagle Bearer's tenacity buff, which can decrease damage taken up to 80%, is a super strong combination for those of you who want more survivability. The Eagle Bearer will also have a magazine size of 78 rounds, which is LMG like. Weapons like the FAMMAS and the Carbine are bumped up to 65 rounds. The True Patriot gear set offers good sustained damage and also adds to our survivability. It's not the strongest or the best solo PvE build in the game, but it's for sure fun and different to use. Plus, who doesn't like explosions and fireworks when killing NPCs? Those explosions also come in handy for when you're spawn trapping bosses at control points. The main reason I haven't covered this build since TU8 was because it got nerfed, and it was nowhere near as effective. Plus there were so many other builds that ended up being better than it, and there was gear sets added that were just way stronger there. Personally, I think True Patriot should receive a buff. If we can have gear sets like Hunted Fury with all the high weapon damage and sustain, then why not buff True Patriot? Let me know what your opinions are in the comment section below. And with that said, let's get into the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, starting off with the specialization. I am using the Firewall mainly for the striker shield. When it comes to specializations with this build, it's all preference. You can go for the Firewall to gain the shield and the extra damage. You can go for the Gunner specialization to gain a bit of burst damage and some more survivability because of the armor on kill. You can go for the Demolitionist to add some more explosive damage to your explosions. It is all preference. Moving on to the primary weapons. And what I will say here is, if you are struggling with a playstyle that is required with this build, definitely go for the Chameleon. It just makes things a lot easier because the talent will make up for the crit chance and crit damage, and you don't have to do any of the weapon swapping. So that's why you're seeing the Chameleon here. If not, switch out for the Eagle Bearer if you have it guys, for that tenacity buff, which will give you insane survivability. 40 to 80% damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. It's easy to counter as well. 3 kills or the bonus armor stacking will just, you know, negate that damage you'll take. Moving on to the playstyle that I spoke about earlier in the video, what I would recommend is always picking off the red NPCs because there's plenty of them. Pick them off with your sidearm here. As you can see, we have the perfect finisher. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage. So you pick them off with this weapon, you then switch to your primary weapon, whichever one you want to use, and you'll gain that crit chance and crit damage. But you also, if you get killed within that time, say with the FAMMAS, as you can see here, it has the killer talent, you'll gain another 40% critical hit damage. We'll get around 235% critical hit damage if you get all the timing down with this. Again guys, it is a playstyle. Once you perfect it, it is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. Looking at the attachments on here, we have 5% crit damage on the scope, 5% crit chance on a laser pointer, and a 5% crit chance on a muzzle brake, and the magazine gives us the extra 20 rounds, giving us a mag size of 65. A FAMMAS 900 RPM with 65 in a magazine. It's just nuts. And then looking at the Eagle Bearer, guys, look at that magazine size, 78. We get an extra 13 bullets thanks to the True Patriot 2-piece. So looking at the stats of the FAMMAS, just real quick, as you can see, the starting crit chance is 26%. Now, that's purposely done so we can spec the whole build into crit damage, and the perfect finisher is going to make up for all the crit chance we lose. So 26% plus the 35% you'll get from the perfect finisher will make up for the crit chance. Then you'll get the added crit damage, which is the 40% on top of the 160.3% critical hit damage. Again, if you can't get along with the playstyle, then switch out for the chameleon. Moving on to the gear pieces now, pretty simple build to make, guys. I recommend staying around 1.4 million armor. This is preference as well, guys. How much damage you want to do initially and how tanky you want to be as well. I went for armor on the mask, 12% critical hit damage and 11.9% critical hit damage mod. My chest piece, I went for crit damage again because all the crit chances being made up from the perfect finisher, or if you're using the chameleon, through the chameleon. So we have 15% weapon damage, 12% critical hit damage, 6% crit chance and 12% critical hit damage via mod. And of course we are using Obliterate, my favourite talent and your guys' favourite talent according to the polls. So critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. Moving on to the holster now, we have a armor roll of 163k, near enough max, and then we have 12% critical hit damage. Moving on to the backpack, and of course it is the Memento. It's like a staple for any solo build. It just offers so much survivability and help. It's just stupid not to use it. You can obviously use other things like Adrenaline Rush talent. You can use Vigilance as well for extra damage. You could also use Perfect Bloodsucker, but that will require you to kill really quick, so you'd have to swap all your blue cores to red cores because survivability will depend on your killing speed. You could also go for concussions. You can spec this build out into headshot damage instead. If you want to use the Eagle Bearer instead of crit damage rolls, go for headshot damage rolls. There's a few ways you can run this build, but I would definitely recommend going for the Memento instead. We have maxed armor, max weapon damage, 1 skill tier which strengthens our shield, and then we have 12% critical hit damage via a mod. Moving on to our gloves, we have a armor roll and we have 12% critical hit damage. And then finally the knee pads, I rolled these for 15% weapon damage and 11.4% critical hit damage. And that is pretty much it for the build. Like I said earlier, I'm using the striker shield. I like the shield, you guys like the shield according to the polls yet again. I asked you guys what your favourite skills were, and it just happened to be these two. So these are in the build today. We had the striker drone, which is great for causing distractions, helping you obviously gain your headshots and your body shots for the adaptive instance talent. So using the drone made that easier. And then we had the shield obviously for extra protection. And that is pretty much it for the build, guys. A real simple one to make. It's not the best, like I said. There are other builds that are way better than this, but you guys requested it. If you request it, I will try it out and make my best version of it. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to leave you with a stat sheet. I'm not going to talk through it. Don't forget to smash that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you're new for lots more Division 2 content. And I'll leave you guys with a gameplay, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.
Come on, let's get him. Did you see that? We lost one. Got him now. They're in the open. Get him. Take him out. I'll fucking kill you. I got this.
Stay the fuck away! You are going down! Son of a bitch!
High-risk target detected.
Let's make it hurt! Eat this!
Not so smart.
On your six. Firing an RPG! Keep eyes on our flank! Dead! Call out their
Justice served.
Immediate medical assistance needed.